hand up. Okay, if you expanded this one correctly, you should have gotten 20n minus 28. How many people got 20n minus 28? Yes. Good. Yeah? Here. So you multiply each term by 4. Okay? 4 times 5n gives you 20n. 4 times negative 7 is negative 28. Now you want to get your terms with the variable, this time it's n, on the same side of the wall by adding or subtracting. So I see if I subtract 10n on both sides, I'm going to have a positive number in front of my variable, which is always nice to have. And I create a 0 pair to do that. And then I can actually do the subtracting on this side. So 20n, take away 10n is 10n. And on this side, because of the 0 pair, I just have 2 left. So now I've got the variable n in this case just to one spot. So this is where reverse math starts. Okay? So I look on the side with the variable, and I want to undo any adding or subtracting first. So I'm going to add 28 to both sides, 0 pair. So now 10n is on this side, and 30 on this one. Divide both sides by 10, and you get n equal to 3. Okay? So to undo multiply by 10, you divide by 10, but you have to do it on both sides. All right, and now I have to do this to go down. All right, next one. So everyone try the expand line. See if you can use a distributed property that's reaching back to the last thing. Multiplying whatever's out in front by both terms inside the bracket. Try the first line, see if you get it right. What would you write down here? If you're really hard to figure that one out in your head, that's what you have to do. I saw lots of 12x's, that's good. 36, because 12 times positive 3 is positive 36. Okay? 5 times 2x is 10x. 5 times positive 8 is positive 40. So that should be your first line. Okay? Then you're going to look and see. The x's are on different sides of the wall. Okay? So to get them on the same wall, you have to either add or subtract. I can see that subtracting 10x creates a 0 pair here, but if I do it on one side, I have to do it on the other, and I'm lining the x terms up. 10x take away 10x is 0. That's a 0 pair. That's why we did it. 12x take away 10x is 2x. And so now all I have left on this side is 40. Okay? So now I've made my question to where the variable is only in one spot, so now I can start solving it. I haven't started solving it until then. Now I use reverse BEDMAS. So I'm going to subtract 36 on both sides to create a zero pair. Still got 2x on this side, 4 on the right side. I want to undo multiply by 2 by dividing by 2. Okay. All right, try the next one. We'll give you some time. All right, so I saw lots of people with 3x plus 3, so they multiplied the 3 on the left side, and 2x minus 4 is 2 times negative 2 is negative 4 on the right. Okay, that's correct. Now our x's are on opposite sides of the wall. Okay, so I have to add or subtract to get them together. So I can subtract 2x on this side, but I also have to do it on this side. So 2x minus 2x, I did it to create a zero pair. 3x take away 2x is 1x, or I could just leave it as x, because 1x and x mean the same thing, so it's up to you. But you don't need to have that 1 there. Plus 3 equals, and the sneaky negative here, negative 4. So don't drop that sneaky negative sign. Okay? And now I've got it to where I can use reverse BEDMAS to get x by itself. And I want to undo add 3 by subtracting 3 on both sides. And I end up getting x equal to negative 7. And here's my answer. Okay? So we've added the one more layer with the brackets. All right. So let's do this one together. Try to just get the first line, and then we'll see it is a little bit different than the first one. But if you kind of follow that checklist, you shouldn't run into those too many problems. So we'll take a look at those steps in here. Try and practice questions, or when you're doing the assignment today. Okay, so I saw someone had 6 minus 3x here. What happened? What's wrong with that? Yep. Yeah, they added the 3 plus 3 by accident, so it's 3 times 3, so that should be a 9. Okay, good catch. So that's this part. You still need the plus 1 equals 31. Now, if I look at the two sides of my wall, there's only an x in one spot. Does everyone see that? But I do have more than just 2 terms on this side. I've got 2 terms that are just numbers and 1 term that has an x. So I can collect these terms that have numbers. They're just numbers. Okay? So I could regroup if I want and write 9 plus 1 minus 3x. And then add the 9 and the 1. So I did have to collect like terms on that one, which was different from the other one. Okay? So I expanded, brackets were fine. I looked on both sides of my wall. I only had the x in one spot, but I had two terms that had numbers, so I collected them. Collect the like terms. Okay? Now I want to get x by itself, and x happens to be here. So I want to undo any adding or subtracting. So I want to get rid of this 10. I'm not sure what to do. I can try subtract 10 and see if 10 minus 10 is 0. Once I figure out, yes, it is 0, 10 minus 10 is 0, I have to subtract 10 on the other side of the wall and the other side of the equals. Okay? Then we do the one side instead of the other. But I've got the sneaky negative to carry down with me. And 31 subtract 10 is 21. And we get x equal to -7. F is kind of the same. And you can see on one side of the equals, it's just one thing, and there's a lot on the other. So try just expanding out first. First line, so your first line would be expand. Okay, and see the lots of 6 ends, that's good. Good. Okay, so I'm seeing lots of 6n minus 16s. So that takes care of the distributive. But I've still got minus 4n on this side. So if I look at the two sides of equals, the two sides of the wall, my variables are both on the same side, so that's where I do like terms. 6m and -4m are like terms, and the number. So I group my like terms together. Continue on -4m equals 10. So on this side, I've got 6 m's, but I'm also subtracting 4 m's on the same side. So I just have 2 m's really on this side. Okay? 6m minus 4m is 2m. But I've still got the -16 equals 10. So now I've got the m just in one spot, which means it's ready to solve. So I've done that algebra to get it ready to use reverse BEDMAS. So side with the variable tells me what to do. I want to undo the subtract 16 by adding 16. Cross out your 0 pair. 10 and 16 is 26. Divide. And you get 13. Okay, you can see as complicated as they get, as long as you keep using the steps, you can keep getting them. So look for brackets first. If there's brackets, distribute. multiply them in. A good thing to remember is don't write down a positive or negative sign until you know if it's positive or negative. So when you do 5 times -9 in your calculator, it says -45, so you write down -45. Okay? So don't always write a plus here, wait and see whether it's positive or negative. You've still got the -2. Okay, this one's interesting. Anyone have an idea of what to do next? There's a couple routes you could do. Anyone see something you could do next? There's 2 choices, kind of, and they're both fine. We can either get our x's on the same side of the wall, or we can combine the -45 and the -2. Kind of doesn't matter which one you do first. Okay? Maybe I'll combine these guys first so it looks less complex when you've only got 2 terms on this side of the equation. But I have to be careful entering it in my calculator. -45 minus 2 is -47. Now it looks like the question we did this morning where we got to get the x's on the same side of the wall. Out of here. So if I subtract 2x on this side, I subtract 2x on this side, and I line it up with my x. Okay, make sure you always line it up with your x term. So there's your 0 pair. And then you think to yourself, 5x subtract 2x leaves you with 3 x's. Your purpose for doing it here was to create a 0 pair, so you just have 13 left on the right side. So now your x is only in one spot. You want to use reverse BEDMAS to get x by itself. So you want to undo subtract 47 by adding by 47. 0 pair. 60 is 13 plus 47. Divide by 3. And you get x equaling 20. H is, I think, easier again, so try H on your own. I'll give you some time to think about it. And then we'll do this. Okay, so tons of people had this. It's awesome. Okay, so there's your first mark. Expanded correctly. Okay, then you notice that your x's are on opposite sides of the wall. Create a 0 pair in order to get them on the same side. 5x take away 2x is 3x. Now you've got your x in one spot. Add 35. Divide by 3. And we get x equal to 15. That's your classic solve equation with brackets question for grade 9. All right, so, sorry? Okay. We're going to do the perimeter one together, and then it'll be time to work with your tutors, and we'll save question 3 for after the next break. Okay? So stay with me for this one. It's an important question, often one like this on EQAO, probably one similar to this on the midterm. Okay? All right, so it tells you the perimeter of a yard is 460 meters, and it asks you what's the value of x. So if you remember back to last week, perimeter means add all these sides together. Everyone good with that? Perimeter means add all the sides together. So you start this question off with perimeter equals P equals. Okay? Now if I'm adding these sides up, I want to add the easiest version of them up. So if I have brackets, I want to go ahead and expand them right over here at my picture. Okay? So if that's 4 times x minus 2, an easier way for me to write it without the brackets would be 4x minus 8. Does everyone see that? So that's my first side. Okay, let me call it side 1. So my first side is 4x minus 8, so I'm going to write that side down here. 4x minus 8. So I'm going to put a check mark beside side 1 because I've got that in my perimeter. I've added it up. Now I'm going to add my next side, which also is written in a complicated way. So I can expand it as well and rewrite it as 8x plus 16. Okay? So I can rewrite that side as 8x plus 16. Then I want to add up my next side, side 3, which is easy, it's just 4x. And then my last side, hey Mr. Jigo, which is also written in its easiest form, 7x minus 8. It's my side 4. So if I do this, that would be your first line that you'd want to have written down. Okay, perimeter is my first side, which is 4x minus 8, plus my second side, 8x plus 16, my third side, which is 4x, plus my fourth side. Does that make sense, everybody? Perimeter, you add the 4 sides together. Now we know the perimeter, so I can use an arrow here. Perimeter is 460, so I can fill that in. And I've got one of those equations where I've got a ton of things on one side and only one thing on the other. So when that happens, I see if there's like terms. Okay? So I have an x ending, another x ending. Remember to underline the sign up front too, and another x. And then I've got a plain number ending, plain number, plain number. And that's a lot of terms, so let me line them up. So I've got my 4x, check, plus 8x, check, plus 4x, check, plus 7x. And now my plain numbers, negative 8 plus 16 minus 8. So I've lined them all up and I've done my regrouping step. Okay, so now I've got all my x's together, all my numbers together. So perimeter, still got 460 on the left side, but on the right side I've got 4 and 8 is 12, and 4 is 16, and 7 is 23 x's. But here I've got negative 8 plus 16 minus 8, which gives me 0. Try it on your calculator if you're not convinced. Negative 8 plus 16 gets you to positive 8, and then you take away 8. So you have no number here, which makes the question easier. So now your x is there, and you want to get it by itself. So you're going to divide both sides by 23. And you end up getting x is equal to 20. X is equal to 20. And is there units? Meters. There's units in the question, then there's units in your answer. So what is the value of x? You can put the 3 dots for therefore. X is equal to 20 meters. That's the first part of the question. We'll finish that question, and we'll do question 3 when I get back. For now, you have practice time with your tutors. Oops. Oops, it's frozen, that's why. Freeze. Okay, so we just spent all that time finding out that x was 20 meters. Okay? So we found out x was 20 meters. We also know the whole perimeter is 460. If you turn the page over, it wants to know how long each side is. So, good thing we named them. Side 1. Oops. Where is it? Oh, it's down here. Side 1 was 4x minus 8. Does everyone see that? Side 1 was 4x minus 8. So we're going to go here and write down 4x minus 8, keeping in mind that we know x is 20 meters, because that's what we did in part A, found the value of x. Okay? So now we're going to use substitution and replace x with brackets with 20. So 4 times 20 is 80, minus 8 is 72 meters. So that means that the first side, this one, is 72 meters. So I like to write it in here as I find them, so I know I've done it. So I just found out that side was 72 meters. Now I'm going on to my next side, side 2, which was 8x plus 16. So I'm coming over here, side 2, 8x plus 16. And I know that x is still 20. And then I know that a number right side of brackets multiply, so 8 times 20 is 160. Plus 16 is 176 meters. And once I know that, I'm going to go back to my diagram and label that side 176 meters. Let's find my picture. Oops. Find my picture, and then 176 meters is this side here. So now we're on side 3, which is just 4x. It's an easy side. So side 3, 4x. X is still 20. Substitute using brackets. 4 times 20 is 80 meters. So now I know 3 sides. Go back to my diagram and label it 80 meters. And then I've got one more side to find. And then I'm going to check, I'm going to add them all up and see if I get 460. And then I'll know that I did it right. Okay? So we're going to find this last one, side 4, which is 7x minus 8. Seven x minus 8. Replace x with 20. 7 times 20 is 140. 132 meters. Once you got it, you go back to your picture and you write in 132 meters here. And then I would always, because I want to check and make sure it makes sense, if I add up all these sides, I should get 460 because that's the perimeter. So I'm going to do 72 plus 176 plus 80 plus 132, and that gives me 460. So when you add them all up, you should get that 460, and we do. So we know we're right. Okay? All right, so that's a challenging question. Here's our last one thinker for the day. So the last two and 3 are both examples of questions that have been on EQA in the past. It says the equilateral triangle and the rectangle have the same perimeter. Set up and solve an equation to determine the value of x. Okay? So I kind of think of it as this triangle's perimeter is equal to this rectangle's perimeter. Okay? When it says they have the same perimeter, their perimeters are equal. Does that make sense? Think of it that way. And these equilateral, or these little tick marks, mean that all 3 sides here are x plus 5 for the triangle. And we know for a rectangle that opposite sides are the same. So that if this side's x, this is x. And if the bottom side is 2x minus 3, then the top side is 2x minus 3. So I want everyone to try counting around, count around method. See if you can figure out the perimeter of this side in terms of x, okay, by counting around. So if you remember when we did that, we'd say x plus x plus x is how many x's? 3. Okay, so counting around, we'd say the perimeter of the triangle has 3 x's in it. Okay? Then we want to add the number parts. So plus 5 plus 5 plus 5 is positive 15. Perfect. And then we've got our equal sign because the perimeters are equal. And we want to use the same type of count around thinking for this one. 2x plus x plus 2x plus x is how many x's are on the perimeter for the rectangle. 2, 3, 4, 5, 6. Yes? 6 x's. And then our numbers, we've got no number here, a -3 and another -3. So if I do -3 plus -3 on my calculator, it gives me -6. Okay? So I've just translated this word question and pictures into an equation. So this equation means the perimeter of the triangle is equal to the perimeter of the rectangle. Okay? All right, so now I'm looking to see what I have to do to solve it. So are the x's on the opposite side of the wall? Yes. So I have to do something to get them together. Okay, so you have two choices. If you want to have a positive number in front of x, you would subtract 3x on both sides of the wall or of the equal sign. If you don't care, you might have subtracted 6x on both sides. It's up to you. Okay? So that means on this side there's going to be 15. And on this side, 6x minus 3x is 3x. I still have the minus 6. But now I've made the equation that I can use reverse BEDMAS to solve. Okay? So once you got your x in just one spot, you ask yourself, is there any adding or subtracting to undo on the side that has x? There's a subtract 6. So I'm going to add 6 to make it 0 pair, but if I do it on this side, I have to do it on that side. Keep it balanced. 15 and 6 is 21. And I end up getting x equal to 7. And then you want to always jump back and see what does the question ask. So it says, set up and solve an equation to determine the value of x. So we made the equation. We solved for x, so we just need a therefore. I can figure out what I did. Here it is. So I just need therefore x equals 7. And there's my answer. Okay? So that one you had to take words in a picture and figure out the perimeter. The common error the year this one was on EQAO was people wrote out x plus 5 equals 3x minus 3. So all they did was take the one side that was given, and here they added the two sides that were given, but they forgot that perimeter was all 4 sides and all 3 sides here. Okay, that was what the common mistake was the year that was on EQAO. So just remember perimeter means all sides. Okay? And same in math class means equals. Okay? All right, so that is the end of the lesson.